Welcome to Greg Hansen's Video Notebook. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley here with Greg Hansen. Greg, maybe the most brand name school on the Arizona basketball roster or non-conference schedule this year is UConn.
Maybe.
UConn, very much in Arizona's league reputation-wise, comes to McKale Center on Thursday night. Why aren't more people fired up about this?
You know, it's a puzzle why UConn hasn't been good for about 3 years.
Right.
I don't know why, do you?
No.
Well, because they didn't recruit well, but what other, I mean, they were a top 10 team.
Yeah, they were. I mean, Kevin Ollie, keep in mind, it wasn't that long ago, Kevin Ollie, who's their coach, could have had his pick of any job in all of basketball. You remember, there were overtures from the Lakers.
Yeah.
He had talked about, I mean, a couple of Knicks, I think, were in there. He was a guy who could have named his stop and didn't. Re-upped it at his alma mater, and things have kind of gone that way since.
I can't remember a top 10 program fading out of the picture like this in years and years.
Right, because they're not objectively bad by any stretch. It's just their league has become strange, I think. They're not on my TV.
That's true.
They're not on my TV much. Not that I'm an arbiter of that, but West Coast people don't see them a lot on TV. Very strange.
I think they're okay. I think they're like Utah, Colorado.
Okay.
Kind of okay.
Okay. From what you've seen so far, if Alonzo Trier's knee injury is just what Sean Miller said it was, and if he can play Thursday night, is this a game you think Arizona wins easily?
I think the crowd comes jazzed up, and it seems like Arizona would respond.
Okay.
Like the Alabama game. What gets me about this whole episode this year is if Raleigh Hawkins had been okay from the beginning, they lose one game in the Bahamas.
Probably.
Nobody says a word about Arizona.
Right.
They win all the rest.
Right. They're ranked 10th in the country today instead of 18th.
Or even higher.
Right.
But, I mean, it's more interesting this way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But it's just, isn't that puzzling to me? The basketball team basically has 8 guys who play.
Right.
And the drama, week to week and game to game with Arizona, never ends.
I know. It's always something. Somebody's always hurt or suspended or banished to the end of the bench like Emmanuel Acott or something. And then you look at Acott in Monday night's game, which was a walkover win, and Acott played a bunch of minutes.
And he looked good.
And
then Sean Miller said really nice things about it.
You know, Emmanuel is somebody we really believe in. His tendonitis has hurt him and hasn't allowed him to be, practicing and available. As he gets more strength and we're smart with him, if that tendonitis really goes away, he could be a guy that really impacts what we do down the stretch.
And so you go, is this him trying to be nice to a player who could go home for Christmas and never return?
There you go.
Or is Emmanuel Acott a thing again?
He's a thing. He's got to be a thing.
He has to be a thing.
Because when you get to late, you have to have him part of the equation because can Dusan Ristic be on the court in a Sweet 16 or later?
Right.
Late in the game?
Well, and how about this? From what we've seen from DeAndre Ayton, I mean, I think his motor is incredible. I think his basketball IQ is incredible. I think he's a premier scorer, maybe unlike anybody Arizona has ever had. That said, I think until further notice, he's a guy who you need to compensate for defensively.
Yes.
And if that's the case, I'm not sure you can have Ristic and Ayton under the basket at the same time.
Don't you have that conversation with people every day?
Yeah. Yeah, this is what people ask me about at the Starbucks,
And the other one is throw Ayton the ball more.
Right. Yes. Why doesn't he touch it every time down? But we said that about Stanley Johnson. We said that about Lauri Markkanen too. I mean, there was a thought with Markkanen last year that he didn't get the ball enough.
Yeah. Oh, against Xavier?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Xavier?
I forget that. It was just in the last 11 minutes. Yeah.
When I was the basketball manager at Utah State, we had a 7'1" center named Ed Gregg.
Okay.
And early in the season, he was averaging like 6. I remember one time out, our coach, Liddell Anderson, never got mad, but this time he did almost get mad. Everybody was around him, and we were getting beat by somebody, and he goes, "We have a 7-foot guy. Throw him the damn ball."
That's exactly it.
And he didn't even swear.
Wow.
But he swore that time.
GH, before we go, this is our last episode before Christmas. We're dressed in Tucson winter wear here, which is rolled up sleeves and in a quarter zip here. Tell me a good Christmas story. Tell me a good Christmas sports story.
Sports story? Wow.
You ever been on the road at Christmas? What's that?
1985. 1986 Aloha Bowl.
Yes.
Arizona played in Honolulu on Christmas Day.
Right.
They beat North Carolina.
Okay.
Chuck Cecil was a star. Anyway, the day before, Star beat writer Jack Magruder, a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer, first ballot Arizona Daily Star Hall of Fame.
We go on this catamaran ride at sunset right there in Waikiki Beach. And, you know, they're serving stuff on the catamaran.
I've been on that catamaran, yes.
And we're coming back in just at sunset. Jack's getting off, I'm getting off, and, you know, we got a game at noon the next day. And Jack falls in the water. And he wears glasses like I do. We never found Jack's glasses. And he can't see without them. So the next day at the Aloha Bowl, he walked around with binoculars the whole game. Because he couldn't see from me to you. So walking into the press box, he's got binoculars. And he put it on his expense account, too.
Wow. Well, Jack, if you're watching, hi.
Sorry I told him that. He's a fine, upstanding young man.
He is an upstanding man. It's the next day at Bible study. You atoned, and yeah, that'll do it for this episode of Greg Hansen's video notebook. For Greg, if I don't see you, Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
Merry almost Arizona Bowl season. It's coming up.
Go Aggies.
Go. The Aggies, I think, are going to win. I'm going to jump out on a limb.
Okay.
Say the Aggies kill the Aggies in the Arizona Bowl. I'm Ryan Finley. We'll see you next time.